The vast expanse of space had long been the playground of the Galactic Council, a coalition of advanced alien civilizations that prided themselves on their technological prowess and diplomatic finesse. For millennia, they had explored the cosmos, cataloging new species and welcoming worthy candidates into their ranks. But nothing could have prepared them for their encounter with humanity. Admiral Zixnera of the Arcturian Empire, current head of the Galactic Council's Exploration Division, stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Stellar Envoy. Her iridescent scales shimmered under the soft blue light of the ship's holographic displays. "Report, Science Officer Krell," she commanded, her 4 eyes fixed on the main view screen. The bulbous-headed Krell floated towards her on his anti-gravity pad. "Admiral, we've detected an anomaly at the edge of the Orion Arm. It appears to be a ship." Zixnera's antenna twitched with interest. "New species?" "Affirmative," but Krell's voice trailed off, his 3-fingered hands fidgeting nervously. "Speak plainly, Krell." "The ship, Admiral. It's enormous. Our initial scans suggest it's roughly the size of a small planet." Silence fell over the bridge. Zixnera's mind reeled. In all her centuries of service, she had never encountered anything like this. "Hail them," she ordered, her voice barely above a whisper. Moments later, the view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that would forever change the course of galactic history. A human face appeared, belonging to Captain Ilara Chen of the Earth ship Gaia. "Greetings," Captain Chen said, her voice calm and measured. "I am Captain Ilara Chen of the Human Confederation. We come in peace." Admiral Zixnera took a moment to compose herself before responding. "I am Admiral Zixnera of the Galactic Council. We welcome you." She paused, struggling to find the right words. "Your vessel, it's unlike anything we've ever seen." Captain Chen smiled. "The Gaia is one of our smaller ships, actually. We have larger ones in our fleet." The Admiral's 4 eyes widened in disbelief. "Smaller? How? How is this possible?" "It's a long story," Chen replied. "Perhaps we could arrange a meeting to discuss cultural exchange." Zixnera nodded, still in shock. "Yes, of course. We would be honored." As the communication ended, the Admiral turned to her crew. "Inform the Council immediately. We need to prepare for everything." In the following days, news of the human arrival spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Species that had long considered themselves the pinnacle of evolution found themselves grappling with a new reality. Humans, a species unknown until now, had achieved what many thought impossible. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered in the Great Hall on Centauri Prime, their heated debates echoing through the cavernous chamber. "They must be stopped," shouted Grox, the reptilian delegate. "No species should wield such power." "But think of what we could learn," countered Lyra, the Aquarian ambassador. "Their technology could revolutionize our understanding of the universe." As arguments raged, Admiral Zixnera stood before the Council, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Esteemed colleagues, I urge caution. Yes, the humans possess technology beyond our comprehension, but they have shown no signs of hostility. In fact, they've been remarkably open to dialogue." The room fell silent as a holographic projection materialized in the center of the hall. It showed the Gaia in all its glory, dwarfing nearby planets. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the audience. "This," Zixnera continued, "is why we must approach this situation with diplomacy, not fear. I propose we send a delegation to meet with the humans, to learn more about their intentions and capabilities." After hours of debate, the Council agreed. A delegation would be sent, led by Admiral Zixnera herself. As she prepared for the mission, Zixnera couldn't shake the feeling that the galaxy was on the brink of a new era. Meanwhile, aboard the Gaia, Captain Chen was having her own discussions with Earth's leadership. "They're scared," she reported via quantum entanglement communicator. "Can't say I blame them. We did kind of drop a bombshell on them." General Maria Vasquez, head of the Human Confederation's military, appeared on the screen. Her weathered face bore the scars of humanity's troubled past. "Remember your training, Captain. We've prepared for this moment for generations. Our ancestors' sacrifices have led us here." Chen nodded solemnly. The weight of human history pressed upon her shoulders. Centuries of conflict, near extinction, and ultimately, unification had forged humanity into what it was today. Their journey to the stars had been born of necessity, their incredible ships a testament to human ingenuity and the drive to survive. "What if they see us as a threat?" Chen asked. "Then we prove them wrong," Vasquez replied firmly. "We show them that humanity has learned from its mistakes, that we seek cooperation, not conquest." As the call ended, Chen turned to her first officer, Commander Akira Tanaka. "Well, Akira, looks like we're about to make history, again." Tanaka grinned. "Just another day at the office, eh, Captain?" Chen laughed, grateful for the moment of levity. As she looked out at the star-studded expanse before them, she couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. Humanity had overcome so much to reach this point. Now they faced perhaps their greatest challenge yet, proving to a wary galaxy that they came as friends, not conquerors. Little did they know, forces were already in motion that would test the resolve of both humanity and the Galactic Council. As the Gaia hung in space, a silent sentinel of Earth's incredible journey, the stage was set for a cosmic drama that would reshape the very fabric of galactic society. In the depths of space, far from prying eyes, another race watched these events unfold with great interest. They had been waiting, planning, for this moment. The arrival of humanity might just be the catalyst they needed to set their own grand plans in motion. As both the human delegation and the Galactic Council prepared for their historic meeting, the universe held its breath, aware that the next chapter in cosmic history was about to be written. Diplomatic tensions. The meeting between humanity and the Galactic Council was set to take place on neutral ground, a space station orbiting a gas giant in an uninhabited system. As the Gaia approached the rendezvous point, Captain Chen couldn't help but marvel at the diversity of alien ships surrounding the station. Vessels of all shapes and sizes, from crystalline structures that seemed to defy physics to organic-looking craft that pulsed with life, formed a colorful tapestry against the backdrop of space. "Quite a welcoming committee," Commander Tanaka remarked, his eyes wide with wonder. Chen nodded, her expression serious. "Remember, Akira, we're not just representing Earth here. We're representing all of humanity. The stakes couldn't be higher." As the Gaia docked with the station, Chen and her team prepared to disembark. They had chosen a small delegation. Chen herself, Commander Tanaka, Dr. Aisha Patel, their chief xenobiologist, and Marcus Novak, a diplomat with a reputation for handling delicate situations. The airlock hissed open, revealing a cavernous docking bay filled with an assortment of alien life forms. At the forefront stood Admiral Zixnera, her iridescent scales shimmering under the station's lights. "Captain Chen," Zixnera greeted, extending a four-fingered hand. "Welcome to Unity Station." Chen shook the offered hand, marveling at the alien's cool, smooth skin. "Thank you, Admiral. We're honored to be here." As they made their way to the conference room, Chen couldn't help but notice the mix of curiosity and apprehension in the eyes of the aliens they passed. Whispers followed in their wake, a babble of languages that their universal translators struggled to keep up with. The conference room itself was a marvel of alien architecture, with walls that seemed to shift and change color based on the emotional atmosphere of the room. As the human delegation took their seats, Chen found herself face to face with representatives from a dozen different species, each more alien than the last. Admiral Zixnera called the meeting to order. "Esteemed colleagues, we are gathered here today to welcome a new species into the galactic community. The humans have demonstrated remarkable technological achievements, and we are here to learn more about them and their intentions." Chen stood, feeling the weight of countless alien eyes upon her. "Thank you, Admiral. On behalf of the Human Confederation, I want to express our sincere desire for peaceful coexistence and mutual understanding. We come not to conquer or dominate, but to learn and share knowledge." She went on to give a brief history of humanity, their origins on Earth, their struggles and triumphs, and their eventual unification that led to their current technological marvels. As she spoke, holographic images appeared, showing the beauty of Earth and the ingenuity of human engineering. When she finished, a moment of silence fell over the room. Then the questions began. "How did you achieve such mastery over gravity and space-time?" asked a being that appeared to be made of pure energy. Before Chen could answer, a reptilian creature interjected, its voice sharp with suspicion. "More importantly, why build ships of such immense size? Surely not for peaceful exploration alone." Chen took a deep breath, recognizing the delicate nature of the situation. "Our ships serve multiple purposes. Yes, they are formidable, but they are primarily designed for long-term, multi-generational space travel. The size allows us to carry vast ecosystems, ensuring our survival on extended journeys." Dr. Patel stepped in, her voice calm and measured. "If I may, the technology that allows us to manipulate gravity and space-time came from centuries of research and, frankly, necessity. Earth was facing numerous crises: overpopulation, climate change, resource depletion. We had to innovate or perish." The energy being seemed fascinated, its form pulsing with excitement. "Remarkable. The ability to turn crisis into opportunity is truly admirable." However, not all were convinced. The reptilian delegate, Grox, leaned forward, his scales bristling. "Pretty words, but actions speak louder. How do we know you won't turn your planet ships into weapons of mass destruction?" Tension filled the room. Chen could feel the situation balancing on a knife's edge. It was Marcus Novak who spoke up, his diplomatic training coming to the fore. "Esteemed delegates," he began, his voice smooth and reassuring, "we understand your concerns. They are valid, and in your position, we might feel the same. That's why we propose complete transparency. We invite delegations from the Galactic Council to visit Earth and our colonies. See for yourselves that our intentions are peaceful." A murmur ran through the assembled aliens. Admiral Zixnera's antennae twitched with interest. "An intriguing proposal. But what do you ask in return?" Chen saw her opening. "Knowledge exchange. We have much to learn from you all, just as we hope you might find value in our discoveries. Together, we could push the boundaries of science and exploration further than ever before." The next few hours were a whirlwind of questions, debates, and negotiations. Chen and her team worked tirelessly to address concerns, offer reassurances, and build bridges of understanding. By the time the meeting adjourned, a tentative agreement had been reached for further diplomatic talks and controlled cultural exchanges. As they made their way back to the Gaia, Chen felt a mix of exhaustion and cautious optimism. "Well," she said to her team, "that could have gone worse." Tanaka chuckled. "Always the optimist, Captain. Did you see the way some of them looked at us? Like we were either gods or monsters. Can you blame them?" Dr. Patel interjected. "We've just appended their entire understanding of technological progression. It'll take time for them to adjust." Back on the Gaia, Chen sent her report to Earth. The response came quickly. They were to continue diplomatic efforts while preparing for the arrival of alien delegations to human space. As Chen looked out at the alien ships surrounding them, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage, but the dance was far from over. Little did they know, hidden among the delegations at the conference, agents of a shadowy faction had been watching and listening. In the depths of space, encrypted transmissions raced across the cosmos, carrying news that would set sinister plans in motion. The game was afoot, and the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. Looming threat. Months passed since the initial meeting between humanity and the Galactic Council. Cultural exchanges had begun, with alien delegations visiting Earth and human ambassadors traveling to various worlds across the galaxy. While progress was being made, tensions still simmered beneath the surface of these diplomatic efforts. On board the Gaia, now orbiting a gas giant in the Proxima Centauri system, Captain Chen found herself in a heated discussion with Admiral Zixnera via holographic communication. "Captain, you must understand the position this puts us in." Zixnera's translucent form flickered slightly. "Several members of the Council are demanding we place restrictions on human expansion." Chen fought to keep her frustration in check. "Admiral, we've been nothing but transparent. We've opened our doors, shared our technology. And that's precisely what worries them." Zixnera cut in. "Your rate of advancement is unsettling to many. There are whispers of humans being a potential threat to galactic stability." Before Chen could respond, alarms blared across the Gaia. Commander Tanaka's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, to the bridge, immediately." "I'm sorry, Admiral. We'll have to continue this later," Chen said, already moving. As she entered the bridge, Chen was met with a scene of controlled chaos. "Report," she barked. Tanaka turned from his station, his face grim. "Long-range sensors have picked up a massive energy surge at the edge of the system. Something big just dropped out of FTL." The main view screen flickered to life, showing a distant point of light rapidly growing larger. As the image magnified, Chen's blood ran cold. A vast armada of ships, easily numbering in the thousands, was bearing down on them. "Are they Galactic Council?" Chen asked, though she already suspected the answer. Tanaka shook his head. "Negative. Configuration doesn't match anything in our database or the Council records." Chen's mind raced. "Open a channel to Admiral Zixnera." Now, the Admiral's hologram reappeared, her scales a pale blue, a sign of distress in her species. "Captain Chen, I assume you're seeing this." "We are. Any idea who they are?" Zixnera's antennae drooped. "I'm afraid so. They call themselves the Void Collective. We've had encounters with them before. Hostile. Extremely. They're a coalition of species devoted to what they call galactic purification. They seek to eliminate any races they deem unworthy." Chen felt a chill run down her spine. "And I'm guessing humanity's sudden appearance on the galactic stage has attracted their attention." "It appears so," Zixnera confirmed. "Captain, I'm mobilizing every Council ship in range, but it will take time. You need tow." The transmission cut off abruptly as a massive energy pulse washed over the Gaia, temporarily disrupting its systems. "Status report," Chen demanded as the lights flickered back to life. "Shields holding at 82%, reported the tactical officer. "Weapons online." "But Captain, that was just a warning shot. If they hit us with their full arsenal." Chen nodded grimly. "Understood. All hands to battle stations. Prepare for emergency FTL jump." As the crew scrambled to their positions, Chen opened a ship-wide channel. "This is the captain speaking. We are facing an unknown hostile force. Our priority is to protect Earth and our colonies. We may be outnumbered, but we are not outmatched. Remember your training, trust in each other, and in the Gaia. We will prevail." Just as she finished speaking, the first wave of enemy fighters launched from the Void Collective's capital ships. "Incoming," Tanaka shouted. "Evasive maneuvers," Chen ordered. "Tactical, target those fighters. Communications, send out a distress call to all human and Council ships in range." The Gaia shuddered as it unleashed its first salvo, streaks of energy lancing out to meet the oncoming swarm. Several enemy craft exploded in brilliant fireballs, but more kept coming. As the battle raged, Chen couldn't help but think of the irony. Humanity had worked so hard to prove they weren't a threat, only to now be forced into a position where they had to unleash the full might of their technology. A nearby explosion rocked the ship. Direct hit on Deck 14. Someone shouted, "Emergency force fields engage." Chen gripped her command chair tightly. Status on that FTL jump. Droids charging, Captain, the navigation officer replied. But at this rate, we won't break free of their jamming field in time. Chen's mind raced, considering their options. They couldn't abandon this system. It was too close to Earth. But staying to fight against such overwhelming odds seemed suicidal. Suddenly, an idea struck her. It was risky, potentially catastrophic, but it might be their only chance. "Tanaka," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. "Remember that theoretical application of our gravity drive we discussed." Tanaka's eyes widened as he realized what she was suggesting. "Captain, that's never been tested outside of simulations. The energy requirements alone are exactly what we need right now." Chen finished for him. "Begin the calculations. We're going to show these Void Collective bastards why you don't corner a human." As Tanaka set to work, Chen opened a secure channel to Earth. "This is Captain Chen of the Gaia. We are under attack by a hostile force known as the Void Collective. Prepare for potential invasion. And, if we don't make it, it's been an honor serving humanity." She cut the transmission and turned back to her crew, determination etched on her face. "All right, people, let's make history." As the Gaia prepared for its desperate gambit, the Void Collective ships pressed their attack, unaware that they were about to witness a demonstration of human ingenuity that would change the course of the war, and perhaps the fate of the galaxy itself. Battle for survival. The space around Proxima Centauri erupted into a dazzling display of destruction as the Gaia fought against the overwhelming forces of the Void Collective. Energy beams crisscrossed the void, and explosions bloomed like deadly flowers against the backdrop of stars. Shields at 47%. The tactical officer shouted over the din of battle. "We can't take much more of this, Captain." Chen's eyes were fixed on the main view screen, watching as wave after wave of enemy fighters swarmed towards them. "Tanaka, status on our little surprise." Commander Tanaka's fingers flew over his console. "Almost there, Captain. But I must stress again, this is completely untested. The risks are less than certain destruction." Chen finished for him. "We're out of options and out of time." Suddenly, a new alarm blared. "Captain," the sensor officer called out, "we're detecting a massive energy buildup from the Collective's flagship. I think they're charging their main weapon." Chen's jaw clenched. This was it. "Tanaka, ready or not, we're doing this now. All power to the gravity drive." The Gaia shuddered as energy was diverted from every non-essential system. The lights dimmed, and a low hum began to build throughout the ship. "On my mark," Chen said, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. 3, 2, 1, mark. Tanaka slammed his hand down on the console. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, reality itself seemed to twist. The Gaia's experimental gravity drive came to life, not to propel the ship through space, but to create a localized gravity well of immense power. The effect was immediate and spectacular. Enemy ships closest to the Gaia began to be pulled in, their trajectories bending as if caught in an invisible whirlpool. Fighters collided with each other, unable to compensate for the sudden gravitational shift. Even the larger ships of the Void Collective found themselves being inexorably drawn towards the Gaia. "It's working," Tanaka exclaimed, a note of disbelief in his voice. "The gravity well is expanding faster than predicted. At this rate, it'll engulf half the enemy fleet." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Let's not celebrate just yet." Status on the Collective's flagship. As if in answer, a brilliant beam of energy lanced out from the massive enemy vessel. But instead of striking the Gaia, it curved, drawn in by the artificial gravity well. The beam swept across the Collective's own ships, leaving devastation in its wake. Chaos erupted among the enemy fleet. Ships trying to escape the gravity well collided with those still pressing the attack. The carefully coordinated assault fell apart as confusion reigned. "Captain," the communications officer called out, We're receiving transmissions from Galactic Council ships. They're entering the system now. Chen nodded. Perfect timing. Tanaka, begin powering down the gravity drive. Let's not accidentally pull in our allies. As the gravity well began to dissipate, the true extent of the damage became clear. Nearly half of the Void Collective's fleet had been destroyed or disabled, caught in the aftermath of their own weapon and the Gaia's desperate gambit. The remaining enemy ships, realizing their advantage was lost, began to retreat. Flashes of light signaled their jump to FTL, leaving behind the wreckage of their defeated forces. A cheer went up on the Gaia's bridge. They had done it. Against all odds, they had survived and turned the tide of battle. But Chen knew this was far from over. Stand down from red alert, but maintain battle readiness, she ordered. And get me a channel to Admiral Zixnera. The Admiral's hologram appeared, her scales now a vibrant blue, a sign of excitement or agitation in her species. Captain Chen. That was. I've never seen anything like it. How did you? A desperate move, Admiral. Chen interrupted. One I hope we never have to repeat, but we don't have time to discuss it now. The Void Collective retreated, but they'll be back. We need to prepare. Zixnera nodded solemnly. Agreed. The Council is convening an emergency session. Your presence is requested. No required. This threat changes everything. Chen looked around at her battered but unbroken ship and crew. Understood, Admiral. We'll set course for the Council headquarters immediately. Gaia out. As the hologram faded, Chen turned to her crew. You've all performed admirably under extraordinary circumstances, but our job isn't done. The Void Collective will return, and when they do, we need to be ready. Not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. Commander Tanaka approached her, his expression a mix of exhaustion and determination. What do you think will happen at the Council meeting, Captain? Chen's gaze drifted to the viewscreen, where the last remnants of the battle were visible against the star-filled backdrop. I don't know, Ikura, but one thing's for certain. The galaxy will never be the same after today. As the Gaia prepared to jump to FTL, heading towards an uncertain future and what promised to be a pivotal moment in galactic history, Chen couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The Void Collective had been driven back, but at what cost? And what would be the consequences of humanity revealing the full extent of their technological capabilities? These questions and more weighed heavily on her mind as the stars streaked past, carrying them towards a rendezvous with destiny. The battle for survival had been won, but the war for the future of the galaxy was just beginning. A new era. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with an energy unlike anything in recent memory. Representatives from hundreds of worlds filled the chamber, their voices a cacophony of languages as they debated the events at Proxima Centauri and the threat posed by the Void Collective. Captain Chen stood at the center of it all, flanked by Commander Tanaka and Dr. Patel. They had just finished recounting the battle and explaining the technology behind their gravity well maneuver. The room had fallen into a stunned silence. Admiral Zixnera was the first to speak. What you've demonstrated, Captain Chen, is nothing short of revolutionary. The implications of this technology are precisely why we hesitated to reveal its full capabilities. Chen finished for her. We understood the fears many of you had about our level of advancement. We didn't want to exacerbate those concerns. Grox, the reptilian delegate who had been so skeptical of humanity's intentions, leaned forward. And yet, in doing so, you may have saved us all. The Void Collective has been a shadow looming over our civilizations for generations. Never before have they been dealt such a decisive blow. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Chen could sense a shift in the air, a newfound respect, and perhaps a touch of fear, directed towards humanity. The question now, the crystalline being chimed in, its voice resonating like bells, is what we do next. The collective will return, and in greater numbers. Chen nodded solemnly. Which is why we're here. Humanity stands ready to join forces with the Galactic Council. Together, We can face this threat. The next several hours were a whirlwind of discussions, proposals, and negotiations. Plans were drawn up for a united defense force, combining the technological prowess of humanity with the diverse capabilities of the Council races. Research initiatives were proposed to further develop and understand the gravity manipulation technology that had proved so effective against the Collective. As the session neared its end, Admiral Zixnera called for a vote. "We stand at a crossroads," she announced, her voice carrying across the chamber. "The threat we face is unlike any we've encountered before. Our response must be equally unprecedented. I propose we formally induct humanity into the Galactic Council, with all rights and responsibilities that entails." A hush fell over the room. Chen held her breath, acutely aware of the historical significance of this moment. The vote was cast. As the results were tallied, Chen felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Tanaka, a rare smile on his face. "Whatever happens," he said quietly, "it's been an honor serving with you, Captain." Before Chen could respond, Admiral Zixnera's voice rang out. "The vote is unanimous. Captain Ilara Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I officially welcome humanity into our ranks." The chamber erupted in applause. Chen felt a wave of emotion wash over her, relief, pride, and a profound sense of responsibility. As the formalities concluded and delegates began to disperse, Chen found herself approached by Grox. The reptilian's demeanor had changed dramatically since their first encounter. "Captain," he said, his voice gruff but sincere, "I owe you an apology. I misjudged your species and your intentions. You've proven yourselves to be not just powerful allies, but honorable ones." Chen nodded, accepting the apology with grace. "Thank you, Delegate Grox. I hope this marks the beginning of a long and fruitful cooperation between our peoples." As they prepared to depart, Dr. Patel pulled Chen aside. "Captain, have you considered the long-term implications of what's happened here today? The sharing of our technology, the alliances we're forming. We're reshaping the very fabric of galactic society." Chen looked out over the bustling chamber, watching as beings from across the cosmos mingled and conversed. "You're right, Aisha, but I think it's a change for the better. We've taken our first real steps into a larger universe. Now we have to prove ourselves worthy of the trust that's been placed in us." Aboard the Gaia once more, Chen addressed her crew. "Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, not just for humanity, but for the entire galaxy. The road ahead won't be easy. The Void Collective still looms as a threat, and there will be challenges we can't even imagine yet. But we face them not alone, but as part of a greater community." She paused, looking at the faces of her crew, human faces that now represented their entire species to the cosmos. "We carry with us the hopes and dreams of Earth, and now the trust of countless alien civilizations. Let's make them proud." As the Gaia prepared to depart, setting course for Earth to deliver the momentous news, Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, and humanity was now poised to explore it as never before. The threat of the Void Collective remained, a dark cloud on the horizon. But as Chen looked at her crew, at the determination in their eyes and the unity of purpose they shared, she felt confident. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, not just as humans, but as members of a grand galactic community. As the stars streaked past the view screen, marking the beginning of their journey home, Chen allowed herself a small smile. The future was uncertain, but it was bright with possibility. A new era had begun, and humanity was ready to play its part in shaping the destiny of the cosmos.